The escape plan. Emily Carter stood in her childhood bedroom, staring at the wedding dress hanging on her closet door. The ivory silk seemed to mock her, a beautiful prison she was expected to wear in 3 days. Bradley will be here soon for dinner, her mother Linda called from downstairs. Please wear something nice. Emily closed her eyes. Bradley Whitmore, heir to the Whitmore fortune, her arranged fiancé, handsome, wealthy, and completely wrong for her. He saw her as a trophy, a perfect coastal bride to enhance his image. The family business was failing. Carter Coastal Tours, once thriving, was drowning in debt. Bradley's marriage proposal came with a business merger that would save everything. Her mother had made it clear. Emily's duty was to sacrifice her happiness for the family's survival. But Emily had other plans. That evening, she sat through dinner, watching Bradley describe their future with clinical precision. The yacht club wedding, the honeymoon in the Hamptons, the house he'd already picked out. He spoke about her like she wasn't there. Emily's so lucky, her mother gushed. Not every girl gets such a perfect match. After Bradley left, Emily waited until her mother was asleep, and she slipped out of the house and walked to the beach. The ocean had always been her sanctuary, the one place where she could think. Clearly, she needed to ruin her reputation. If she appeared unsuitable, scandalous, Bradley might call off the engagement. It would hurt her mother, but it might save them both from a loveless marriage. The plan was simple. Spend the night with a stranger, make sure people saw them together, and let the town gossip do the rest. At the weekly beach bonfire, Emily found her courage in a plastic cup of tequila. She spotted him near the water's edge, a tall man fixing his surfboard under the moonlight. He looked real, unpretentious, nothing like the polished men in her mother's social circle. "Excuse me?" she called out, her heart hammering. "Would you be willing to help me with something unusual?" Jake Donovan looked up, surprised. "Depends what it is. I need people to think we spent the night together. Nothing would actually happen. But I need to create a scandal." Most men would have walked away. Jake studied her face in the moonlight. "Someone trying to force you into something you don't want. A marriage." He nodded slowly. "I've done stranger things for people in trouble. What's your name? Emily Carter? Emily Carter? Let's give this town something to talk about." The unexpected connection. They sat by the dying bonfire until dawn, talking. Emily had expected awkwardness, regret, second thoughts. Instead, she found herself laughing with Jake Donovan. Really laughing for the first time in months.
"I'd show you."
"Work in tech, but you surf every day?" he asked, wrapped in his extra hoodie. "I used to be one of those obsessive startup guys. 90-hour weeks living on energy drinks and ambition. Then I burned out completely. Moved here, found balance. The ocean teaches you things spreadsheets can't." Emily understood. The oceans. "The only place I feel like myself? When I'm out there with tourists showing them the coast. I remember why I love this place." "What's stopping you from just leaving?" Jake asked. "Pack a bag, disappear, start over somewhere else." "My mother. The business. This town is all she has left after my father died. If I leave, she loses everything. And if you stay, I lose everything." Jake was quiet for a long moment. Sometimes the only way to save something is to let it crash first. As the sun rose, painting the sky pink and gold, Emily felt something shift inside her. She'd come here to create a scandal, but she'd found something unexpected. A man who listened without judgment, who understood the weight of choice and sacrifice. "We should probably make this look convincing," she said as early joggers appeared on the beach. Jake stood and helped her up. "Emily, whatever happens after this morning, I want you to know something. You're worth more than whatever deal your mother made." Mrs. Henderson from the bakery jogged past, her eyes widening as she saw Emily emerging from the beach with a strange man, wearing his hoodie over her rumpled clothes from the night before. "Good morning, Mrs. Henderson," Emily called out cheerfully. The woman's mouth fell open. By noon, the entire town would know that Emily Carter had spent the night on the beach with some mysterious stranger. Jake walked her to her car. "Will you be okay?" "I think so. Thank you for this. For helping me." "Will I see you again?" Emily hesitated. She wanted to say yes, but her life was about to explode. "I don't know what happens next." I'm usually surfing at sunrise, Jake said. Just in case you need to talk. To someone who understands. As Emily drove home, she felt lighter than she had in months. The plan was working. But more than that, she'd glimpsed what it felt like to be seen, really seen, by someone who didn't want to change her or use her or mold her into something else. Her mother was waiting in the kitchen, holding her coffee cup with white knuckles. Emily, I just got a very interesting phone call from Mrs. Henderson. The aftermath. You spent the night with a stranger on the beach. Linda's voice cracked with disbelief. 3 days before your wedding? Emily poured herself coffee with steady hands. Yes. How could you do this to us? To Bradley. To everything we've worked for? I did it for me, Mom. For the first time. In months, I did something for me. Linda sank into a chair. Do you have any idea what you've done? Bradley's family will never accept this. The merger, the business, everything is ruined. Maybe that's not such a bad thing? Not a bad thing? Linda's voice rose. Emily, we're 3 months behind on the mortgage. Business is failing. This was our only way out. Emily sat across from her mother, seeing the fear and desperation. In her eyes, there has to be another way. There is no other way, Linda whispered. Without this marriage, we lose everything. Before Emily could respond, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I hope you're okay. If you need anything. I'm here, Jake. Her heart jumped. In the chaos of the morning, she'd forgotten to give him her number. How did you get this number? She texted back. Small town. Asked around. Are you in trouble? Emily looked at her mother, who was staring out the window with hollow eyes. I think so. Want to talk about it? I'm at the usual spot. Emily stood up. I'm going out. Emily, please, stay. We need to figure out how to fix this. I'll be back. She found Jake on the beach, sitting on a piece of driftwood watching the waves. He looked up as she approached, and she saw genuine concern in his eyes. How bad is it? He asked. Bad. The whole town knows. Bradley's going to call off the engagement. My mother thinks I've ruined everything. Have you? Emily sat beside him. I don't know. The business really is failing. Without this marriage, my mother might lose the house, the company, everything my father built. Tell me about your father. He died when I was 20. Heart attack. He loved this place. Loved showing people the beauty of the coast. My mother took over, but she's not built for the business side. She's been struggling ever since. Jake was quiet for a moment. What if there was another way to save the business? Like what? I don't know yet. But I know people, investors, tech companies looking for unique experiences to offer their employees. Maybe we could figure something out. Emily looked at him. Why would you help me? You barely know me. Because last night talking to you, I remembered what it felt like to care about something again. And because everyone deserves the chance to choose their own life. Her phone rang. Name on the screen. I have to take this, she said. Emily. Bradley's voice was ice cold. We need to talk now. The confrontation. Bradley was waiting in his Tesla outside Emily's house, his face a mask of controlled fury. She'd seen him angry before, but this was different. This was dangerous. Get in, he said through the window. I'd rather talk here. I said get in. Emily climbed into the passenger seat, her pulse racing. Bradley didn't speak as he drove toward the marina, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. You humiliated me, he said finally. My father's business partners are already calling. Do you know what this does to my reputation? I'm sorry, you're embarrassed? Sorry. Bradley pulled into an empty parking lot overlooking the water. You're sorry? Spent the night with some random beach bum 3 days before our wedding, and you're sorry? The wedding's off then? Face her, and Emily saw something cold and calculating in his eyes. Oh no, we're still getting married. You're going to call this Jake person and tell him it was a mistake? You're going to tell everyone in town that you had too much to drink and made a stupid decision? We'll say it was a bachelorette party gone. Wrong? I won't do that. Yes, you will. Because if you don't, I'll make sure your mother's business doesn't just fail, it gets buried. I'll spread word that Carter Coastal Tours is unreliable, unsafe. I'll make sure no bank in the county will touch her. Your mother will lose everything, and it will be your fault." Emily's blood ran cold. "You can't do that." "I can, and I will. My family has connections you can't imagine. Cross me, and your mother won't just lose the business. She'll lose her house, her savings, everything. She'll spend her final years in some sad little apartment." Wondering how her daughter destroyed the life her husband built, Emily stared at him, seeing him clearly for the first time. Not just entitled or controlling, but genuinely cruel. "You're a monster," she whispered. "I'm a businessman. The wedding is in 3 days. You'll be there, you'll smile, and you'll be the perfect wife. Or your mother pays the price." Emily got out of the car on shaking legs. Bradley rolled down the window. "Oh, and Emily, stay away from your surfer boy. If I see you with him again, the deal's off, and your mother's life is over." Emily watched him drive away, her heart pounding. She pulled out her phone and called Jake. "Can you meet me? Something's happened." 20 minutes later, she was back on the beach, telling Jake everything. His face grew darker with each word. "He threatened your mother? He has the power to do it too. His family owns half the businesses in town. If he wanted to destroy her, he could. So what are you going to do?" Emily looked out at the ocean. Her sanctuary, her place of peace. "I think I have to marry him." "No." Jake's voice was firm. "There has to be another way. There isn't. I've thought about it from every angle. If I don't marry him, my mother loses everything. I can't live with that." Jake was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "What if I told you I might have a solution?" "What kind of solution?" "Give me 24 hours. Don't do anything. Don't make any commitments. Just give me 1 day." Emily looked at him, this man who'd helped her once already, who was offering to help again. "Jake, you don't understand. Bradley's family has money and power. There's nothing you can do against that." "Maybe not. But I have to try." "Why?" Jake took her hand. "Because I'm falling in love with you, Emily, and I'm not going to let you sacrifice your life without a fight." The truth revealed, Emily spent the night staring at the ceiling, Jake's words echoing in her mind. By morning, she'd convinced herself that whatever he was planning couldn't work. Men like Bradley didn't lose. Her phone rang at 8 a.m. Jake's voice was excited, urgent. "Meet me at the coffee shop on Main Street." And Emily, "Bring your mother, Jake. I don't think, trust me, please." An hour later, Emily sat across from Jake in a corner booth, her mother beside her, looking confused and wary. "Mrs. Carter," Jake said, "I need to tell you something about your daughter's fiancé." "I don't want to hear anything bad about Bradley," Linda said stiffly. "Despite what Emily did, he's still willing to marry her. That's because he needs this marriage more than you know." Jake pulled out his phone and showed them a series of photos. Bradley with other women, expensive cars, gambling receipts, documentation of massive debts. "Bradley Whitmore is broke," Jake said. "His family cut him off 6 months ago after he gambled away his trust fund. He's been living on credit and lies. The merger isn't about helping your business, it's about getting access to your assets, so he can pay off his debts." Linda's face went pale. "How did you get these? I used to work in tech, remember? I still have contacts, people who can find information." "Bradley's been hiding his financial problems, but they're about to catch up with him." Emily stared at the photos. "It's the threats, the power he claims to have. ... Bluff. His family might have influence, but they've disowned him. Can't hurt your mother's business because he has no business himself." Linda was studying the documents. "This can't be right. His family is one of the wealthiest in the state. They are. He isn't. Emily, you don't have to marry him. Can't follow." Through on his threats, Emily felt a weight lifting from her chest. "You sure about this?" "Positive. I've also been talking to some people about your business. There's a tech company in San Francisco that's looking for authentic coastal experiences for their corporate retreats. They're willing to invest in Carter coastal tours, help you modernize and expand." Linda looked skeptical. "What's the catch?" "No catch. It's just good business." Emily would need to be the primary contact, though. They want someone young, local, passionate about the area. Emily looked at her mother, then back at Jake. "You did all this in one day?" "I had help and motivation." Linda was quiet for a long moment, processing everything. Finally, she looked at Emily. "Honey, I owe you an apology. I was so afraid of losing everything that I was willing to sacrifice your happiness. I thought I was protecting you, but I was just protecting myself." "Mom, no, let me finish. Your father would be ashamed of me. He never would have wanted you to marry someone you didn't love, no matter what we stood to gain." Emily hugged her mother, feeling years of tension finally release. "So what now?" Linda asked. "Now," Emily said, looking at Jake. "I think I need to have a conversation with Bradley." An hour later, Emily stood on the dock where Bradley's yacht was moored. He was waiting for her, confident and smug. "Ready to apologize?" he asked. "Actually, I came to give you something." Emily handed him a folder. "Documentation of your real financial situation, your gambling debts, your cut-off trust fund, your bankruptcy filing that's about to go through." Bradley's face went white. "Where did you get this? Does it matter? The point is, I know the truth. There's not going to be a wedding, Bradley. And if you ever threaten my mother again, I'll make sure everyone in town knows exactly what kind of man you really are." Bradley stared at the papers, his facade crumbling. "You don't understand. I need this marriage. I need the money. You should have thought of that before you gambled away your inheritance." Emily walked away, leaving Bradley standing on the dock with the ruins of his lies. She found Jake on the beach waiting. He looked up as she approached. "How did it go?" "It's over. Really over." "And how do you feel?" Emily sat beside him, watching the waves. "Free, terrified, grateful, like I can breathe again. What happens now? Now I figure out how to live my own life. Starting with dinner tonight, if you're interested." Jake smiled. "I know a place. It's got a great view of the ocean." "Perfect." As the sun set over the water, Emily realized that sometimes the best way to save your life was to risk everything for it. She'd thought she was just escaping an arranged marriage, but she'd found something much more valuable: the courage to choose her own path. And someone who loved her enough to help her find it. The end.